stuff, so. People get affected by the weather.
All right, well, I hope then we like the food I ordered.
Well, I guess that means
Something is coming. Something is coming. What? No, because we have people that don't eat meat here.
I'm gonna.
Something meatless.
Meatless? Is it tteokbokki? Or.
No, tteokbokki's a little too messy. Maybe someday, that's not a bad idea.
You know, Sunny was like telling me I had these in class as well. The other class.
Your class, yeah. So there's a whole bunch of people missing. Jin, Shinyoung, Sujin. So we're really only missing then Suwa. What's going to happen to her?
We only have 2 people.
So we're going to definitely, we need to send someone from somewhere. So we have 4 people here. We'll have to send someone here, but let's, and you guys, Sua's coming here, right?
Yeah. Sua's in our group.
Sua, I know she's in your group. We have to move people around a little bit. Who? I heard that Zelin is not coming, and Jin is not coming, and Sujin got hit by a car. But it doesn't seem so serious, but yes, she was hit by. Well, the insurance problem for the person who hit her, she's just walking on the street, I guess. We'll have to find out this the sad story of Sushi. One of these days. Ay, ay, ay. Here's Sua, yay.
Hi.
Does everyone have a job ad they like?
Yep.
I have some if you don't, I brought some. So I have 10 job ads if you don't have one. So they're in the folder, so I can give these to you. So if you want to look, here are 10. These were jobs from Indeed, and they were a bunch of jobs for recent graduates. So people who have just graduated. They're all in the U.S. A couple of them are with Sony Pictures. So working for Sony, that sounds pretty fun. Some other things there as well. So there's 10, so you can kind of share them out if you want to use any of these. There's some for HR jobs. Knowing that you're actually looking for an HR job.
Yeah.
Some HR jobs at universities, which is what people usually want. University HR jobs, best of both worlds, right?
What is in the States?
You could still apply.
You don't want to go to States?
No, I do, but like,
You could apply.
realistically.
You just be brave. You can't hurt to apply. You can still apply. I didn't include any jobs where they said you had to be a U.S. citizen. So there are some jobs that require people to be U.S. citizens, but none of these. So I picked 10 where anyone could apply, in theory. What? Yeah, there's. I'm trying to pick one with pretty good pay, especially for. It's an internship. In Korea, you have to pay to do an internship. In this case, they're paying you $70,000 a year for an internship.
Wow. 70,000 yearly? Yearly?
Yeah, it's there. It's in the pile. That's one. That one's for you. 70. You do an internship and get paid $70,000 a year to do it. Sounds pretty good. Some of them are also remote, which means you might not even have to be there. So I picked a couple that are remote work where you can do it from home. You can work on Disney movies from home, or Sony movies from home. Just for you. You have yours. Okay, Louise is here with a minute to spare. So let's see. we need one person to come. We have 2 people here.
Or
Do you want to keep these? You can have those. That's yours. And you don't need to take the candy corn with it. Here, this is your favorite.
my favorite?
You wrote that in your reading homework. You lied, didn't you? Your reading homework, you wrote that candy corn was your favorite.
Oh.
And you wrote it definitely wasn't your favorite. I remember what you write in your reading homework. Okay, so we have 4 people here and 4 people here. How are we gonna figure out? We need to move one person here. Or do you just wanna stay a mini group? Are you happy as a mini group? Maybe we can do pair stuff anyway. All right, we'll just stick where we
We're
are.
all in even numbers.
Yeah, it's all even numbers. So apparently Shinyong is stuck somewhere because there's a subway strike.
Yeah.
Which lines?
From 1 to 8.
Really?
Yeah.
But this morning there was no problem.
They didn't strike on the 출근길.
The commute, yeah, they don't do it that
They wait till it starts raining and then they strike
Yeah.
just to really annoy people.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're doing today, we're gonna go through, we're gonna quickly tailor your resume to the job ad that you have there. And if you don't have your own job ad, I brought some, so you need a job ad that you want to use. You're gonna quickly tailor your resume to that. We're then just gonna do a somewhat controlled task where we're checking at some bad cover letters and we wanna revise them, and this is kind of fun. They're fun, revising bad cover letters. Then we're going to write our cover letter for the job that we've chosen. So we want to write the cover letter for the job that we've chosen. You're going to get feedback from your partner and revise that, and then we'll close. And for the reading homework, for the writing homework, I'll explain at the end of class. I'll need a little time to explain because we're going to be doing this as pairs for the writing homework. Starting this week, you're paired up with someone, and the pairs are already there. Maudine and I are pairs because we have an odd number of students, so she's my pair this week. But everyone will get a partner to work on. So what we want to work on first. Here's our scenario. Now we've all created a good but generic kind of resume. You want to tailor your resumes to a specific job. So you want to make sure that when you are job hunting, that you make a different resume for every job, and that your resume is very specifically tailored towards that job, including the things that are most relevant for that job that's going to impress people. So this is what we want to do. You want to look through the job ad that you have and just fix your resume so it very closely correlates to that job ad rather than just being a general resume. You may have to, in this case, you may have to lie. In real life, you don't want to do that because you'll get caught and get in trouble. You can extend the truth, and it's called embellishment. You can embellish your resume, but you don't want to lie. In this case, you might need to lie, right? Yedin is a first-year student. Obviously, you don't have your degree yet because it's only your first year, but let's pretend that Yedin has graduated or will graduate. So just for the sake of going through these motions, think about what type of resume you would need to get the job that you're applying for. Base it upon yourself to some extent, but base it more on the job that you're actually looking for, the job that you found. So we want to do this quickly. We have 10 minutes now to do this. So everyone has a device that they're working on where you have your resume. So it looks like everyone has some sort of
Yeah.
device, right? So your resume is in there, and you can do this, everything is better when you do it with someone else. So you can do this with a partner and just consult with each other a little bit. So you can offer each other some consultation as you're doing this. And again, the main point is just revising the resume that you have. If you don't want to do this in a device, just mark on the paper. Do you need a pen? Here's a pen. Here's our delivery. That's what the plate is for. So you can put that on the plate.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Asada.
I do it a lot.
Even though you're
She'll tell me the story later. That's what I'm She'll explain why they're speaking Russian even though they're Kazakh. That's a long story. Long and very interesting story.
Okay.
Okay, this is good. You like this? Okay. Oh, there's ketchup if people want it.
Okay, it's here.
You want ketchup? Do you want some ketchup?
Thank you.
No, that's not a resume, that's
So yeah, you want to fix the resume according to the job posting, or if you, so just mark off the things that you would include maybe, the things that are crucial that you would want to put in your resume.
There are two different ones, I think. Found yourself.
And you can help each other a little bit, like you can consult with each other about what you might want to do. So you can practice consultants.
Please rewrite the slides, decide which one to apply for, and fix your resume according to it.
You have your job.
Nothing, just.
Okay, so that's different than what you had in the reading before. That's a better job at.
Did I just do all of this? If you have one on your own, which is.
Benefits, health insurance.
You could choose from one of them, or you found your current
Job
job
that you
interest you on your own. That's good.
you have the ad.
I guess that you guys didn't.
You don't want to be a forensic scientist?
Gas industry experience.
Money.
It wasn't milky
For us.
This one? But you're not looking at dead bodies. You're investigating. You're not you need a medical degree for that.
What's that? You have to write? Not yet?
sure you meet all the qualifications. Mark down clearly the qualifications so that you meet all the qualifications they need and maybe even exceed them slightly, but you don't want to make yourself overly qualified. So you don't want to give yourself like too much. Do you have a job ad, Eugene?
Yeah, I took a picture of it.
Talent acquisition?
Yeah.
Those are real jobs. They're from Indeed.
They're in the States.
I'm gonna change your
Derek.
resume that you wrote
Derek.
according to that was so that will suit this. According to
You know, what
Yeah.
job did you apply
So you're like, imagine you're applying for this job and you want your resume to suit this job. No? No. Yeah, so you're gonna revise it, so it will suit. So is that what we're doing? So we pick a job and we're
Right.
applying for it, so we
So
change our
we're
resume.
fixing our resume to make sure our
Yeah.
resume matches the job very closely.
Yeah. So we wanna.
So you wanna make sure like your qualifications match the job and your experience and your skills, that you have the right skills for the job. And a good job ad usually lays these things out fairly clearly, if it's a good ad.
So check the qualification and you wanna change your
Did you
resume.
find something? You're supposed to find this in advance, do you want?
This job.
So now we have 3 minutes to fix our resumes.
No.
When she said no, I was like, what do you mean no? You don't wanna do it? No, like when I said, oh, so you want to revise your resume, so I was this.
What do you, what job are you?
Self-feature.
Okay.
But that's what we're doing.
My resume is too different for this.
Yeah, so we're gonna extend and revise. Hurry up.
Fix it so you can get the job because you want to make money. Find the money. But don't write that in your resume or your cover letter. That's a no-no. We already did that when we were working. I want the money. Fluent in English. So what proof do you have of that? Okay, so you can put the exam score. Or you could put very often, I mean, there's 2 major scales. You could use the actual scale or that we use in this class, or you could use the European Common Framework scale, so like an A2 or something like that. Depends on the test that you have. You want to make sure it's a test that they're familiar with. But you have to make sure, don't just make claims you can't back up, like, I'm really good at English. You have to be, you need support, like certifications or something to kind of show that. And also, I noticed looking at the reading homework, people didn't include their first language. So include all the languages you speak, not just English, but like, oh, I'm good at English, but yeah, what other, like, I'm also pretty good at Korean, it's my first language. So you need to include that, like Korean native speaker, if that's the case for you. To make it clear. If you're coming from university, it's crucial also to put down any scholarships or awards that you've gotten. So when you're doing kind of an entry-level type, where you're coming straight out of university, those are big things, like the scholarships and the awards that you got. That shows that you've been successful. You may even include just your GPA if it's high enough, but only if it's high enough. If it's not high enough, don't include it. 3.3 out of 4 points. So don't include that, but yeah.
Oh. No, it's not me. It's not me.
Yeah, I mean, again, you're focus on the positive.
Right.
You're not lying, but you're not telling the whole story either. So you're pulling out the best parts and the most relevant parts and spinning them so that there's overall a very positive spin there.
Should we be including things like the school excursions?
If you think that relates to what you're trying to do, you can include that, and in your cover letter, you get the opportunity to maybe explain why that is important. Right? In the resume, you're just listing things, and the cover letter is your opportunity to offer a little explanation about why those things that are in your resume might be important.
Then under what category would that fit in?
Yeah, so we usually have sort of your education and your experiences. So that might fall under, since you're coming out of university, that might be like relevant experience. If it truly is, and yeah, I went to Hawaii and had a super good time for 10 days. And then you have to find a way to make that relevant and frame it in a way, like, again, it's all how you frame it. So how are we doing?
I wrote a lot.
Did you write good things?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Based on truth.
Based on the truth, and are they relevant?
Yep. Language. And I do the volunteer trainings for languages. So I wrote that.
Okay.
I made up some things. I researched about language acquisition, which I did.
Well, you need something concrete, so you need to say, like, if you did research on language acquisition, you need to say you had like a paper, that you wrote a paper, or not just, I did research,
I
you
wrote
need
that
concrete.
right under the undergraduate thesis on the critical reading process.
Okay, so yeah, you need details. So again, this resume is just a list, but you want to have details in there. You want to make sure you can back up the claims that are there with some detail. You doing great.
I'm reading the relevant completed courses.
Okay. Yeah, and that's actually a good point. As a university student, you might list courses that you took that are especially relevant to the job. Like Mari, you need to write down like phonology, advanced phonology, and the courses and the grade that you got.
I don't know about the grade because I haven't.
Well, you're gonna pretend that you've done the course and that you got an A+.
I wish.
Between the
So on this resume, I got
or should I put the grade?
You don't wanna make it look too good, like maybe 1A, 0.
You could say received A+ on this course.
Where should I write the grades and courses?
So if you're listing the courses, you could say grade awarded A+, or grade received A+.
Grade
Awarded or grade received.
Every course is next to the every.
Well, again, you're not putting every course, you're only putting courses that are relevant,
Yeah,
right?
but there's like 7, 8 courses.
Yeah, so if the grade was high,
Of course.
then put the grade there. Or you could even just underneath, you could, if you don't wanna put the grade every time, you could say cumulative GPA, whatever, 4.15, which is the highest for Korea, for Sumyoung, right?
I wrote the total GPA and I should write.
You can give your overall GPA, and then you can give your GPA within your major. That's often common within, like when you apply for graduate school, they often ask you to do both, your overall GPA and then the GPA for your major. If you're applying for the same field, then, because hopefully your GPA might be lower overall, but your major GPA should obviously be high.
I have a question. So if you don't list your GPA, will they assume that?
No, not necessarily.
No?
Not necessarily. It's, oh, you didn't list your grades. Not necessarily. They might ask you, like, did you do well in those, like at the interview, but that's not going to be a red flag in the resume, I don't think. It's not a red flag in the resume. You remember that from last semester?
Green flag in that.
Yeah, it's all right. I think people, you want more time to do this?
No.
Are you done? Is everyone done?
Rick is like, no.
You're done, Rick?
Yep.
Okay, so let's quickly, and we can do this with our smart partners, let's move to the next thing. We're going to just quickly try to, this is our movement into writing the cover letter. We're going to look at 3 cover letters. There's 2 on one side and 1 on the other side. With your smart partner, and we'll do this as pairs. With your smart partner, see if you can identify what is wrong with the bad cover letters. So let's try to find out what is bad about these cover letters. What's wrong with that?
To me, it's concern.
Since we want to write good
You have
cover
to
letters.
have a surname. Because if you look it up, it's always there.
So we had a fun trip.
Yeah. Yes.
Was the subway jammed?
No, I just wait. I stuck in there.
And the subway was super crowded when you got in?
Oh.
And everyone was angry and wet and...
Yeah, it's rain and every ajumma pushes me away.
Okay, let's hope that it's a little better when we go home, right?
And I'm like a little bit short, so everyone was outside waiting.
Put back, short but tough.
There's 2, right?
Elbows, elbows.
I'll write for the second one. Because you're doing it already right now.
And take the notes of what should they have to change or revise.
What?
It's just a bad sentence.
What's it back?
The second sentence is very wordy and it's not concise.
Okay.
On grammatical, right? I want to make
I think it makes sense.
makes sense.
It's
It's just awkward.
yeah.
Because yeah, we want to keep these things simple and concise.
This has to be wordy.
address a person directly if possible, right? The whom it may concern means that you're lazy and you didn't really